Hi, I'm the WanderingNewbie. It's time for more Record Keeper. Today, we have another dream dungeon. This time for 2. And the fight is the Imperial Shadow, which it's kind of weird that this has become such a thing in Record Keeper as a boss, because it's just a trap monster. It's just a very rude trap monster. But anyway. This guy is entirely magic based and does mostly fire, ice, and lightning. Does have poison, holy, and dark, but those are more rare. If you can build your accessories for fire, ice, and lightning, you can actually make out pretty well. Ultimate Incantation gives him an attack magic buff, which can be easily removed with a double attack magic down, dance, and haste. The haste is fake. He already has 650 speed. You can just ignore it. Ultimate Intercession is only used once, but does give him, for 8 seconds, a huge defense resistance buff and Protect and Shell, so you're going to want to bring some way to remove those. Dream Holy does Silence and Interrupt. Dream Dark does Blind and Stops. These are punish moves. If you're in a phase for too long, he'll use these on the whole party, but he does have scripted ones that he uses earlier in phases. The Dream Holy will only ever hit slots 1 and 5, so just don't put your spellcasters there. And Dream Dark will always hit slots 2 and 4, so don't put your melee people there. It's that simple. Dream Flare is just a very nasty move that he can use. It hits fairly hard. You should be bringing plenty of magic reduction for this boss anyway, so that's about it. Fairly simple. Bring a attack mag down dance, because he does that buff often enough. And bring that elemental resistance. If you have decent healing, you'll survive pretty easily. Well, I mean, one reason that both things kind of want you to have Hilda is because Hilda's the only realm dancer. But I run her as mostly a healer 9 times out of 10. There is said big buff. This lesser difficulty level is generally a bit easier, so I'm probably not going to remove that buff. You'll watch him kind of melt now that my buffs are up. You're thinking of All the Bravest. Yes, All the Bravest is a garbage game. And somebody who played that and beat it in 2 days. So that's really what All the Bravest is. Oh, there were, air quotes, DLC levels you could do. It's not worth it. He has a lot of scripting buffs at the start of his phases. So if you're moving the phases as fast as this, it kind of doesn't exist. Dream Flare might mess me up, actually. We're fine. Wave goodbye as he melts into the ground. And then mattering on how far you get through the boss, you get rewards. That's the other very nice thing about this dungeon, is you get incremental rewards the further you get through the boss. So you don't even need to clear the boss. We have to think for a moment. Okay. Yeah, Kite, that's pretty accurate. If you get all the rubies from all the difficulties, it's about 1.5 abilities. Which is a lot, considering that when Torment 2.0 first came out, you weren't getting enough for one ability unless you were clearing the hardest difficulty of the Torment. That's auspicious. Not actually being able to clear that first attack means on the hardest difficulty that's going to hit very hard. Well, once we have our debuffs on, we don't take too much damage. Oh, shit. I was putting down a coffee mug. But what if? Faith. I talk shit on this glint. Was there coffee in the mug? Yes. It was good coffee. It was one of my sort of bootleg mochas that I made in my Keurig. I put a like sort of 3 parts coffee, 2 parts hot chocolate, stir it up. Are any Keurigs worth it? I think they're fine. Here's my general review. A nice brewed pot of coffee is generally going to be better than a Keurig, but if you aren't going to make a whole pot of coffee for yourself, which that's me living on my own, Keurig's fine. It gets the job done. Confirm that this cup, though, is cracking up that it leaks water. I'm going to toss this cup out. Alright, what phase are we on? Middle of phase 2? That sounds about right. %60%. You're gonna not actually need that anyway. Oh, well, we're gonna eat this on the chin. What's the clock at the top mean? That's just something that they include in a lot of recent events. It's just a timer. Except it stops whenever animations play. Imagine that every time an attack occurs, it happens in a split second. That's technically real time. We like to call it DNA time, which is the company that makes the game. There's the holy I was talking about. So that's going to be an interrupt and a silence on those two. There are fights where this timer actually plays into it. In that you get rewards on how quickly you clear the fight. But for this one, it's just actually, it's a good use of timing buffs. Like for instance, I cast that defense buff with the original character here in slot 4. So now I know that, okay, we're getting close to the point where I need to recast this defensive buff or I'm going to eat shit. Okay, we can't remove the defensive side of that buff. So we're just going to have to hold the lesser damage that we're going to be dealing here. Oh, just die already. Just prolonging the inevitable. Well, just overwrote my buff, my debuff. But I think Therion and Maria should have this right here. Yes, we're done. Alright, I think you go first. Meltdown. I think I slipped the Crushing Tango in here, Reaping Scythe, and then Windmill Slam, Divine Veil. Ultimate Incantation. This is for building meter. And then we Windmill Slim a Dance, and perfect. Got it off before his first attack. Alright. Damage will be slow. For a bit. Damage does pick up though. damage eventually becomes real on this party. Pretty real. You'll see some big numbers. Not Grand Blue Bit. But Final Fantasy Bit. I love how bad the multiplier on this entrance will be forever. We don't do that soul break for the entrance. Okay, where is Double Trouble? I gotta think for a moment. That. We removed Intercession, so we need to get that back up. Sunfire, and then Lord of Darkness. Again, I apologize for the pauses, but I needed to actually think. Slightly realer numbers. Next time Furion's turn comes around, we'll probably utilize that in order to recast this. We'll remove that, and then we need to recast Wall. I'll keep Tyro up. Need to do a little damage here. Soul Break will refill that and give everybody a dodge. We need to remove that. We're in phase 2. So we safely avoided the phase 1 issue of we're going to hit that wall. And now that we're in phase 2, well, that's less of a problem. A little bit of a misplay on my part. I should have waited until Maria's BSB actually wore off That way I'm building maximum meter. So, when I said that this team will ramp up, specifically, both Furion and Leon have passives where the more they attack, the more their attack goes up. Which normally, this is bad. Fights don't last long enough for that to matter. But in this scenario, we're fighting for a very long time. So that actually comes into play. This is a problem. I think we just entered phase 3. Which means you're gonna get interrupted, Leon. And it's gonna hit, ultimate fire. We have no more passive healing from Furion. Phase 3 is all piercing. Yeah, which means everything is going to be hitting way harder than I want it to. There's the Dream Holy. Yep. Alright, it's time for our faithful companion. I was going to lose the buff. Alright, so that's that, and then Ultimate Dark is going to come out. Or Ultimate Fire. But we healed full. Or close to it. And get a nice buff out of it. And our good boy has a nice instant heal. And I'd say it's just about time. So our damage has gone down a little bit, and that's mainly due to, yes, it is time. Dispel. One more Divine Veil to make sure we don't die. Crushing Tango. Goodbye. It's time for numbers. We don't want to stay in this final phase too long, as you might imagine. It's a bad place to be. We're going to hardcast this again. You wait. Everybody else just DPSs. Tyro is holding action for a very important reason. There it is. We don't want that buff up too long. That buff is very nasty. He's gonna flare. This will blink it. We're gonna kerplode him. Or he did holy first. Right, okay. Nonetheless, here comes kerplode. It's fine. Alright, so that must be his next action. Next action is flare. Which Hilda will be fine. She doesn't get hit. And then this might finish it. Fire? I guess I don't know his order of abilities at all. But what if? There we go. Again, damage isn't outrageous in that fight. It's just a matter of, do you have the damage in return?